Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lady Peace. First of all, I want to apologize for not being active on this YouTube account, and that's because I've been so busy this week. Now, this tutorial today is all about how to make a tube bustier. This is what I'm putting on right now. So we are going to be learning how to make this. So if you're interested in things like this, please go ahead and hit on the subscribe button and please turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Now you can actually use this to create a gown or skirt. Like you can use this for your skirt and blouse, or you can even use this to make like a dress. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining that during the course of this video. So just like I said, if you're interested in content like this, please make sure to subscribe and watch this video till the end. So let's get started. So guys, for you to be able to make this tube bustier, these are the materials you'll be needing. So this is my pattern paper here. Don't worry, this is the pattern drafting video. I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to go about the drafting, and in my next video we are going to be learning how to sew this. Okay, so you'll be needing your boning. This is boning here. This is boning. So when you go to the market, ask them for boning. You're going to see different type. That's why I had to bring these two for you guys to see. So there are different types here. So just ask them for boning. They're going to give you different type, okay? But this particular video here, I decided not to use boning. I'm going to explain that later. So I also have my lining here, okay? So you'll be needing lining, and you'll be needing your head stay. So I have one of it here, you see. So this is head stay here, and if you've used head stay, you should know that there's a part that is rough. That's a part you should iron to the wrong side of your fabric. And then I also have my wording. I have my wording here. So there are different types of wording. This particular wording I'm using is very thick, okay? And there are some persons that prefer using cup, so you can go ahead and use your cup. And when using wording, you should know that there's always a part that is always very rough as well. That's the part you are going to also iron to the wrong side of your fabric. I hope you understand, okay? And then I also have my Ankara fabric here. This is the one we are going to be using. So these are all the materials I'm going to be using for this video. So let's go ahead and start with the pattern drafting. So guys, to be able to draft this, you need your pattern paper, you need your rulers, you need your scissors, you need your tape, you need your pencil or marker. Okay, so I'm going to be using pencil and marker for this particular video here, so that you guys can understand and you can see this clearly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line at the top of this paper here. This line is going to serve as the shoulder line, or you can also call this line the starting line. Okay, I just hope you understand. So after drawing this line, that's where I'm going to be taking all the measurements from. Please take note that this pattern paper is on fold. Okay, so from this point here, I'm going to come down to my bust point. Shoulder to bust point is 11 inches for me. And then I'm going to mark my shoulder to under bust, and I'm going to mark shoulder to waistline. Now, if you check correctly, you see that this pattern paper stopped exactly at 18 inches, which is the waistline. So I'm going to be using the full length of this pattern paper for my waistline. So I'm going to also connect all this line to give me a straight line, just like this. After connecting this line, I'm going to go ahead and use my marker to call this my bust point, so that you can understand what we are doing. This is my under bust, and of course this here is the waistline. Okay, so right now we are done with this. The next thing to do is we are going to be taking our neckline, but before then I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to go about taking your chest line. Now, if you don't know how to take your chest line, Go ahead and divide your round bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it. Now whatever that gives you becomes your chest line. Mine is 40, and 40 divided by 6 plus 1.5 gave me 8 inches. Now from the bust point, you can decide to go up by 2 inches or come from the shoulder line and mark my 8 inches here. I hope you understand. But first of all, let's go ahead and take our neck width of 3 inches, and I'll come down by 3 inches as well. Now this particular video this particular tube bustier we are trying to make, there will be no need for the neckline unless you know you want to add yoke to this. Then you can make use of this neckline. But this video here, I'm not going to be making use of this, but for the sake of this tutorial, let's go ahead and connect our neckline. After then, I'm going to now mark half of my shoulder measurement here. I've marked it, and from that point I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and that's because our shoulder is not straight. So I'll connect from here back to the neck width this way. After connecting that, I'm now going to mark my chest line. So from here, I'll come down by 8 inches. Just like I said, you can decide to go up from your bust point by 2 inches and mark, or come down from your shoulder slope by 8 inches. Whatever you get, go ahead and mark it there. So this line now becomes my chest line. I'm going to mark this my chest line, and then this here is the shoulder line. I hope you understand. After then, the next thing we are going to do now is to get our armhole, and to do that, I'm going to now connect a straight line from this shoulder slope down to the chest line. Please take note of what I'm doing. I'm going to connect down to this point. This is something I've been doing in all my videos. I just hope that if you are new here, please go ahead and check on my other videos so that you can understand better, okay? So I'm trying to create my armhole. So from this point, I'm going to measure what I have, and you guys know I have 8 inches. So half of 8 inches is 4. I went ahead to mark it here, and from that point, I'm going to come in by ½ inch, and on the bust point, I went ahead to mark my round bust divided by 4, on the chest line, and I connected it this way. I'm also going to use my curved rule, connect from here to that point I marked my round bust divided by 4. Hope you understand. After that, you're going to come to your bust point here, and you're going to mark half of your nipple to nipple measurement, which is your dart. We're trying to take out that. Now, half of my nipple to nipple measurement is 4 inches, but I marked 4.5. So whatever you get, go ahead and add ½ inch to it. And once you are through, connect a straight line. And on both sides, I went out on both sides by ½ inch. I will come down from the bust point by 1 inch, and then connect that point like this, and also connect this one like this. Hope you understand. So we just created our dart. Now to get my circle, I'm trying to create a circle around this area here. Now, before you do this, you're going to first place your tape from your bust point down to your under bust, and whatever you get, you're going to use it to create like a round circle. Now, what I had was 4 inches, and I'm using that 4 inches now to create a round circle, making sure that my tape is just exactly at this point here. That particular point, just this point, can you see? So from there, I'm just trying to create like a round circle this way. So I'll continue doing this until I get to the other end.
So many times that I miss.
I'm done connecting this, and I'm just using my pencil to make this very bold so that you can see. Now, once you are done with this, yours can be a little bit smaller, yours can be bigger than mine. So don't just panic, okay? So I'll just use this pencil to draw it straight so that you can see clearly. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. So after connecting it, I'm just using my pencil to just follow that same line to make it very bold, just like this. Okay guys, so we are done with this. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to come to your under bust here. From this dart area, you're going to go out by ½ inch, and on this other side come out by ½ inch. And from that ½ inch, you're going to now connect it back to your dart leg. So connect it back to your dart leg like this, and also connect this way here to the dart leg here. Once you are through with this, you're now going to connect, use your curved rule and connect it back to the dart like this, to this top. And I'm also going to repeat same thing for this side. I'm going to also place my curved rule this way and connect it from here down to this point here. Can you see? So when you are through, you are now going to measure what you have in between these points. Measure what you have in between these points. So I had about 1½ inch. I had about close to 1½ inch or more than. So now you're going to come to the part that is up on your center part of your pattern paper. Give ½ inch to that side and come to this other side and give the remaining inches to this side. What I mean is, after taking that measurement, whatever you get, go to the center part of your paper or your fabric, give ½ inch to that side and give the remaining inch to the other side. So I had 1½ inch. I gave ½ inch to the folded part of my pattern paper and I gave the remaining inches to the other side. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to connect from this point back to the bust point, connect it back to the bust point, and I'm going to also connect this other side back to the bust point. So I'll connect it back to the bust point like this. Can you see? I hope you understand now. So one thing I want to do is, I made a mistake with the first line, but don't worry, I'm going to explain that better. So connect now back to your dart like this using your curved ruler. You can actually do that with your free hand. So you're now going to come to the top here and you're going to go out by ½ inch. Now this is to prevent your bustier from being too big at the top or having gaping at the top. Make sure you go out by ½ inch, and then you're now going to connect it back again. So that means we're going to be condemned, like we're not going to be using the first line again. Sorry for that. We're not going to be using the first line again. We are going to now use the second line. Now please, let's ignore this one, this particular line. I'm going to come down with this line. I'll just come down. I'll just connect it down like this. Okay, so sorry, what I did a mistake here, so I'm going to correct it now. This is the where it's supposed to be here. So you can see that this other side is having 3 lines. Please, sorry for that. We are now going to use this other line here. I just hope you understand though. I'm going to explain better when I'm cutting this out. So guys, the next thing to do is to get our sweetheart neckline, and to do that, I'm going to come to my chest line. Okay, so I'll come to my chest line, and then I'll come down from my chest line by 1 inch. I was just trying to explain the mistake I did here for you guys to understand better. Please take note of this when I'm cutting this out. So these other lines here, we're not going to be using them again. Okay, so to get our sweetheart neckline, I'm going to come down by about 1 inch from the chest line. Now, if you don't want yours to be too deep, please use ½ inch, or you can even decide to maintain the chest line. Okay, so I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and like I said, if you don't want yours to be too big, please use ½ inch or maintain the chest line. After marking it, I'm now going to use my curved rule, connect from this line down to this point I marked. So this is what I'm doing here. I'll just connect it back to this point. Can you see? Connect it back to this point, just like this. So once you are through with this, we are now going to come to the other side here. To get this other side, I'm going to place my tape here and measure what I have in between this armhole area. So whatever you have, divide it by 2. So I just went ahead to fold my tape by 2, make a point, and from that point come down by ½ inch. And once you are through, you're now going to come to this and connect like a straight line across. Just connect a straight line this way, and after connecting that, I'm going to come here and also connect this back. So when you are through, just go ahead and smoothen this area, because this doesn't have to be like pointed. You don't have to be pointed, just smoothen it like this. Now I'm done with this. The next thing to do is to add all my body measurements. So on the chest line, I'm going to mark my round bust divided by 4. Okay, so and I'm going to replace the dots we have at this top. So just take note of where I'm placing my tape. From this point now to this other side, I had close to 2.5 inch. Okay, please take note from here to here. I'm going to now replace it here. So I'll replace it here. Now, if you have enough pattern paper, go ahead and add your stitching allowance. Okay, so this pattern paper is not enough to add my stitching allowance. So when we are cutting this out on fabric, I'm going to make sure to replace that stitching allowance. And on the waistline here, you're going to mark your round waist divided by 4, and you're going to also replace this dot here. What I had here is 1 inch. I'm going to mark it here, and then from this point I'll connect it back to that 1 inch, to the waistline actually. So connect it back to the waistline, and this is it. So right now the next thing is we are going to be cutting this out. So these areas I'm marking out, we are going to cut it out. So please take note of the areas you need to cut out. Please take note of the part I'm going to cut out.
So many times that I miss you. I know how to call when I want to.
I'm done cutting this, and this is how it looks here. So for the yoke, I'm also going to go ahead and open this. So just like I said from the beginning of this video, if you want to add yoke to this is it here. So let me try and adjust my camera so that you can see this clearly. If you want to add yoke to this, go ahead and make use of that yoke, but we're not going to be making use of yoke for this particular tutorial here, so it's not going to be needed for now. Okay, but just in case you want to add yoke, please go ahead and make use of that. So let's go ahead and draft the back pattern. So guys, for the back pattern, first thing I'm going to do is to first draw up a line here for our zipper allowance. I'm just coming in by 1.5 inch. Now if you don't want to add zip to this, you want to use loops at the back, it's still very okay. I'm going to show you how to go about that, but for the sake of those that might want to use zip at the back, just come in by 1.5 inch. Now for me, I don't really like these loops, because if someone is not close to you, you can't put it on by yourself. But for zip, even if nobody is close to you, you can just easily do that without any assistance. Okay, but they both have different ways of like giving your dress a different look. For the loops, it is always very beautiful, very well, but the problem there is who to assist you. I just hope you understand. So I'm going to come down here by 1.5 inch. I went in by 3 inches for our neck width. So we're just trying to get our neckline. I hope you understand though. So you can decide to use loops, you can decide to use zip at the back. For me and for this video, I used loops. So I'm going to show you how I did it. Now I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement here, just like we did for the front, and I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, connect it back to the neck width, just like this. And once you are done, you're now going to get your chest line. So I'll place my tape here and mark 8 inches, and from that point I'll connect it and I'll call that the chest line. And remember, I said if you don't know how to do this, divide your round bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it, and whatever that gives you becomes your chest line. So I just marked chest line, bust line, waistline, and the shoulder line. I hope you understand now. So I'm going to connect this back to the chest line, connect from here back to the chest line. So right now we are trying to create our armhole. To get that, you are going to place your tape from here and mark your round bust divided by 4 on the chest line. Mark your round bust divided by 4 here, and once you are done with that, I'm going to come to this point. So instead of connecting this an armhole, what I'm going to do is I'll just use my curved rule to connect a little this way. So you can decide to place your tape from this particular line to get the center, mark it, go in by ½ inch and connect your armhole just like we did for the front, or just do this particular method here. So I'm done with this, and the next thing to do is to take our dart. I marked 4½ inch here, and I also marked 4½ inch here. Now I said if your nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches, go ahead and divide it by 2, and whatever you get, make sure to add ½ inch to it. If yours is 3.5, if yours is 7, that's 3.5, go ahead and mark it and add ½ inch to it. That way you have 4 inches. Mark it, and I went ahead to connect a straight line, and then on both sides I went out on both sides by ½ inch, connected it back to this point, and I also connect this one now back to the top here. I believe you guys know how to take your darts. If you don't understand, let me know in the comment section. So after connecting this, the next thing we are going to do now is to get our back neckline. I'm not going to be using the yoke for the back. So to do that, I'm going to come down here by about 1½ inch. I'm just trying to see how I can connect, like try to get like my back neckline. This can be a little bit weird, but I think it was okay by the time I was done making this. Yes, it really came out very beautiful. At this point, I was just calculating which pattern to use for this back, and this point I came down by ½ inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first draw up a straight line. If you can check, I was even confused. I didn't even know what to do at this point, but this really needs calculation, so you just need to be calculative. So I just connected a straight line to my dart, and I'm going to use my curved ruler now and connect a curve now back to the dart. I just hope you understand what I'm doing here. This is optional. You can decide to leave yours very straight, or you can just do what I'm doing here. It came out, at first I thought it was going to come out very weird, but it actually came out very nice. So it actually came out very nice. So this is it here. Yeah, this is it for the back. So once you are done, go ahead and add all your body measurements. So remember, on the chest line we marked our round bust divided by 4 and added, we didn't add anything, so we are going to be adding our stitching allowance now of 1½ inch. But remember, we didn't do this for the front, and I told you that my pattern paper wasn't enough to add my stitching allowance. So for the back, we are going to be adding stitching allowance. So when we are cutting this, we are not going to add any allowance again on the fabric. Okay, I hope you understand though. There will be no need for that. So once you've done that on the chest line, just go down to your waistline. Don't bother about the bust point. Go down to your waistline. You're going to mark your round waist divided by 4 and add this dart here. Make sure you replace this. If you don't replace it, it will be too small by the time you are done cutting it out. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to also add stitching allowance of 1½ inch, and then I'll connect it into a straight line. So guys, did you watch this video this far? If you really did, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit on the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification bell so you are notified whenever I upload a new video. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to go about cutting this on your fabric, how to stitch them together to get a better and finished look. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to share this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.